I really want to do the catch up because I wanted to talk about Beyonce's video. God damn it.
Well,
Go ahead.
It's time for the BAQA. The BAQA. What you say? The BAQA. Man, the BAQA with Tiffany. The BAQA. Hey. Look what shirt I'm wearing.
I saw it. I seen it. I almost said I have it on too, but I got my Renaissance. The way that I bought so many Renaissance t-shirts, the money that this cost me, I wear these every day. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should take care of them and like whatever. I wash them. I wear them every day. But I love the Brown Ambition.
Thank you. It's a
t-shirt.
Yeah, it's available, right? We still have some if people want to order.
Yes, we do. Do you know what? I had to refund a BA fam listener because something's wrong with our Shopify account and they did not get their hoodie. So I was very upset on their behalf. I'm going to send her. And it was so sweet because I think it was their partner. And they were like, I got my wife a hoodie for her birthday, but it never came. So I just, yeah. But anyway, brownambitionstore.com, you guys. And I will figure out by the time you hear this episode, I'll figure out what's going on.
Okay.
So y'all can get your swag on.
T-shirts and sweatshirts and swaggy stuff. Go to brownambitionpodcast.com.
And if you have issues, just do what this nice person did and just DM and we'll take care of it.
Of course, always.
We aim to please.
So we're going to focus on career this epi.
Yes, very excited. We have some juicy questions. Let's remind the folks where to go for
this is true
to submit their questions. You can hit us up on IG. We are at Brown Ambition Podcast. Slide into our DMs. You'll get added to the mailbag, and then each week we kind of pluck out our faves. And I think we must have done like some big culling because there's actually a fair amount of questions, but not like insane. So don't be shy. Like you legitimately may get your question answered. Yes. So send them on in. We do business, regular finance, career.
We do entrepreneurship, just life, child, life. So remember this. So we are not your cousin, not your financial advisor. We're not your
gynecologist,
business coach, your gynecologist, your attorney. So you're going to take what we say with a small grain of salt as your favorite financial besties online, okay? Yes. And then you're going to lean into the people that you pay, not us. To your granny, not us.
Yes.
All right. What number did
proceed with caution?
Yes. You want to do
let's do, we're going to do 28 and 29. Okay. We got two juicy questions. Okay, so I want to start with the first one from Crystal, and then we'll go to Kathy. So these are two really juicy questions. First, Crystal is up. She has made a ton of career moves and ended up on cross country. She's a very cool story, but might be going back home and wants to figure out how to break it to her employer. And then we have a question from Kathy who wants to know, should she take a pay cut to have a better commute? So these are two incredible questions. We'll start with Crystal. Crystal says, first, I want to say that I found your podcast just a few months ago and I absolutely love it. I listen every week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Okay. Throwback Mondays.
Holla back Mondays. My question is, I am 30 years old and I've worked in the finance industry for about 7 years. I left my last investment firm due to it being highly stressful and ended up taking some time off because I met my fiance. I had a new baby, and I also have a 10-year-old whose father passed away 7 years ago. So you have lived a lot of life for a 30-year-old. Can I just sidebar? Wow. Yeah. Okay. She says, I decided to move all the way across the country with my children and took a new position at a new brokerage firm. I really do enjoy my job, and I actually like my manager. And the people that I've worked with have begun to invest in me with my short time being here, which is now going on a year. Well, I have had some major issues in my relationship, and I have very minimal support with my childcare since I've been here. I have a huge support system back in my hometown, and I have decided to move back. I do feel guilty because I really like what I do. I know that we can work from home after a year, and we do have some people who work out of state but still belong to their team. I have a big exam coming up for the securities industry exam, and this will get me a $5,000 raise plus a bonus. The test is scheduled 30 days before my lease is up. 30 days before my lease is up. Okay. I want to know how I should approach the conversation with my manager about me moving back to my hometown. I really want to stay with the company and either transfer my job to the firm we have there or work from home. Please help me, ladies.
Okay.
Oh, Crystal. Listen. Best laid plans are often like the best prescription I can provide on paper changes, everything changes when you bring
Mm-hmm.
kids into the mix
Mm-hmm.
and the support system that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, without a doubt, you should go back to where your support system
Yes.
is if that is what you want to do. And I probably would have answered this differently a few years ago, even. But now that I have felt what it feels like to not have,
Mm-hmm.
like or I have felt, and now I have a support system because I had to, befriend them and trap them into liking me and then like, showing up and feeding the dog when I'm not there and taking care of the kids and stuff. Anyway, so I know what that feels like. It is so isolating. It is so difficult.
Yeah.
And Tiff, you have one of your sisters who's a single mom, right, with
Mm-hmm.
the two kiddos, and so you're part of her village.
Yep.
It's a huge, like literally, they are going to live in the house once you move out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree, and I honestly think that what you have is a pretty sweet situation
Mm-hmm.
in terms of being about to cross country. So you're not in a position where you need to find a whole new job. And the fact that it sounds like they really like you
Yeah.
at the company, they are investing in you, they take care of their employees. You already see some examples of workers who are working remotely or have transferred to other like satellite offices or whatever. Like that all bodes well for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I say you don't make it a big secret. Maybe you want to, go ahead and take the exam and pass it and then like celebrate that and then lay
Mm-hmm.
it on them because you still have that 30 days before your lease is up.
Mm-hmm.
But I would, if your relationship with your manager is good, I would just trust that they will stay true to, how the relationship has been so far, which is if they, are understanding, they're flexible with you, then just tell them what's going on. You don't have to give details about your relationship, but just say, when I moved out here a year ago, I had a support system and unfortunately, due to circumstances, I have lost my, support system and I have so much love and support on on the East Coast or wherever it is that you're from, and start focusing on solutions at that point and say, I love work. Just tell them what you've told us. You love
Mm-hmm.
working there. You really
Mm-hmm.
enjoy, how supportive your manager is. You want to make this work. Is there a world in which they would be okay with you transferring to another firm? And that's the beauty of working for a big corporation. You work for a big financial firm, is they have offices in a lot of major cities. So it's, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility at all for you to get a yes and for them to be okay with you moving back to your hometown. Especially if like you're willing to show up in that office over there or work from
Mm-hmm.
home. I would say what you should be prepared for is that they may be okay with you doing that, but you may not be able to stay on the exact same team, maybe because of the time difference. I don't know. So be flexible, but I think you're in a pretty fantastic situation.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I'll add is that you have incredible experience for being only 30 years. You have 7 years of
Mm-hmm.
experience in the finance industry. And baby, I think that you will have no problem
Yes.
finding another job if that is what it comes down to. But yeah, I mean, Tiff, she sounds like she's in a good situation right now.
No, I agree. And as someone who would be on the other side, like from the manager slash leadership perspective, if you're excellent, I will
Mm.
move mountains to keep you here and happy.
Yes.
Like I share that all
Hmm.
the time. Remember, I shared that like, some excellent members of my team were asking for like a raise, but last year was like the hardest year we had. We made like, relatively next to no money relative to what we normally make.
Hmm.
And so what they were asking for was not crazy, but it's like there's just not money to pay. And it forced me to get creative. And I created a whole new profit sharing system just to accommodate these employees because that's how great they were. It was like, okay,
Incentivize them.
yes. I said, okay, I don't have any money. Here's the money. We don't have any. One, I was like, transparency. Here's the money. I want you to see the numbers as I see them. Two, this is what normally I would make as owner's draw. Like, this is how owner's draws work. Three, I will share 20% of what I would take home with you. And so it
Mm.
allowed them to say, okay. And so as a result of that, they just got their first payout. Q1 and they were all happy. Q2 is they could even better. So they're even happier because then they could do the math now. They're like,
Yeah.
ooh, I see the money we made. I know how much the company costs us to run monthly. This is what's likely to be left over. Tiffany's going to take her 80%, 20% is going to go into the pool and it's going to be me, you know?
Hmm.
And so I just say
Pool
all that to
party. Plus, who gets a bonus, like a quarterly bonus? That's dope.
right? I
I'm
love that
saying
pool party. I'm gonna start calling that like it's pool party
pool
day.
party time.
So I share that to say that if you, it sounds like you are an amazing employee. And at the end of the day, people want to keep good people. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was just telling it to a friend, who's under like, his boss wanted to talk to him because they're kind of like his team. He's leading a leadership role, a new leadership role, and his team is kind of pushing back because he hasn't quite built trust with them and whatever. And my friend was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, what if they let me go?" And I said, ultimately, it sounds like your boss said, one, they're not letting you go, so trust that he's not. And then two, it sounds like they're actually wanting to develop you so that way you bring the team like on board. And the key really though is that ultimately nobody wants to say, "Yay, I can't wait to look for a new candidate." It's like ordering Uber Eats. You ever order your Uber Eats and it's missing like your smoothie or whatever, and you call them, you're like, "You didn't put my smoothie," and they're like, "We'll send you your money back." And you're like, "If I wanted my money, I would have kept my money. I want my smoothie."
Yeah,
And
give me the
so,
food.
so ultimately people want their people. They don't, like if they wanted like, their money, they would keep their money. No, they want you, girl, you the smoothie. I say all that to say.
I'm
So I
trying
just
to
say,
find. I'm like
tell
following
me
you
back
on
to
this analogy train, but like I don't 100% get it. Are
you
you
are
hungry?
the smoothie.
Tiffany's hungry,
No,
y'all.
I know I am. And you know what? I didn't eat breakfast or lunch. If that makes sense. So anyway,
Girl,
I
where
just
are
say all
you?
that to
Where
say,
is the reservoir of energy that you are now pulling from?
I have no idea, honestly. But I say all that to say that you sound like an amazing employee. People move mountains for amazing employees, that they will
Mm-hmm.
find a way. And to Mandy's point, if they don't find a way, you just take your amazing employee self someplace else. But um, having a support system is everything because you cannot be an amazing employee without a support system. And good
Mm,
leadership knows that. And so, yeah, good luck to
yeah.
you. We can't wait to hear about them saying, "Yes, girl, whatever you need," or you finding an even better job someplace else.
You're a brave, badass lady, too.
Mm-hmm.
You have been through the loss of the
Uh,
father of your child.
yeah, so sorry.
You have taken a chance on a new relationship, moved your kids across the country, had a baby, in the
Mm-hmm.
last year. Like, you have already accomplished so much and overcome so much. I feel like whatever, like, you're gonna overcome, and you're gonna get through. And I can't wait to hear what your boss says when you give them the news. Like, well, I'd love a follow up. Let us know how it goes. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that, Crystal, you are in really good shape and you should be damn proud of yourself too, mama.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
We're gonna take a break
Right.
and come back with our second question. We'll be back and blacker than ever. And we're back in brown. Our next question is from Kathy. Hopefully we can use your name, Kathy, because you shared it with us.
Too late.
Um, Kathy says, "Hi, lovely ladies. I have a work dilemma. I currently have a job at one of the top universities in the country, and my pay reflects that. But I have to commute up to 3 hours to get to work. Jesus, 5 hours in total. Uh, um, what? Oh, work from home, child. I
Girl.
work from I work from home 2 days a week. Some days I work 14 hours on campus and then have to drive home 2 hours. So my health and personal life has taken a toll. Ooh, I've
Mm,
asked my current job for a moving bonus and or support in staffing. They declined. I might have a full-time job lined up 10 minutes from where I live, but it would be a 25% pay cut and a lower title. What do you think? Should I take the pay cut and a title demotion or wait and continue to apply for other positions that are more reflective of my current work experience? Ooh, job. Well, I'll just say this
oof.
and I'll let Mandy lean in with her expertise. I'll say this that I mean, no job is worth the health decline. I know everyone does not have the financial ability to make choices for what's better for their health. So I can acknowledge that. Some people are just like, well, girl, is this or I starve?
Mm,
If you have the option beyond is this or I starve, even if it means in this and I have less, like if you're, I mean, there are some things that we could do to our bodies that are not as easily repairable than others. And you don't want to put yourself in that position because stress is corrosive.
mm.
Stress leads to heart attacks, stress leads to strokes, stress leads to high blood pressure. Stress is just, it is a corrosive killer, honestly. And so we do not want that for you. So whatever you have to do to still pay your bills and make sure you eat, as well as reduce this level of stress, I just implore you to like make that that is paramount in this decision. But I'll let Mandy
Mm.
talk to you about the career component. But I just want to put that out there that it is not worth your health and happiness. Like no way.
Yeah. These two questions, going from Crystal, who I feel like is in such a great position because her job values her and has already shown her in so many ways that they can accommodate, what she needs. It sucks, Kathy, because you're working at a place that you've already tried to advocate for yourself
Mm-hmm.
and then you've been met with a big fat no. Um, and it being one of the top universities in the country, it's almost like sometimes when you have an institution that has that allure, knows they're hot-ish, like
Mm-hmm.
knows that people would love to have your job, instead of having banging benefits and being really great to their people, sometimes they can kind of be dicks and just be like,
Mm-hmm.
well, you work at this elite institution, you get to benefit from our brand. So put up with
Right.
like the shitty
Mm-hmm.
commute. And the fact that they won't even give you a moving bonus. Here's what I want to say off the bat. Your question made me think of is that in my Mandy Moneymakers coaching community, I have this maker. Oh my God, Isabel, just phenomenal. She also works for a university and she was just going through this like wild months long um, interview process with, I think, two or three other universities. And not only is she negotiating for her own pay with these universities, she wants a position for her husband as well, who's also a professor. And there's actually universities that will hire a professor and then also place their spouse in a job, especially if they want to recruit someone who lives in a different city. And she
Mm-hmm.
got two universities to not just give her a job, but then her husband, her spouse, a
Girl,
job.
get
I'm
you a
not
good
kidding.
woman.
I'm saying he the jackpot. And then they negotiated her salary and his. And I think that her position, it's on they're both tenure track positions. Maybe hers is already tenured. I don't know the details, but I remember being blown away. And I
Mm.
share that anecdote because I want you to know that this is not how it has to be at every
Okay.
university job. And I find that people who work in education, whether it's, K through 12 or higher education at universities and colleges, because you are doing it for the kids and you are
Mm.
educating, sometimes they think that they can take advantage of people who want to do the right thing and they'll do
Mm.
anything for, the good of the kids and all of that. So they pay you shit or they give you shitty benefits. And that, similar to how the nonprofit sector gets away with having sometimes crappy pay, is because people are like, oh, I can't negotiate with this nonprofit. We're here for the good of whatever cause we're supporting. But no, these universities, I don't care if it's a for profit, quote unquote, or a nonprofit, quote unquote, they still make bank. They have
Mm-hmm.
large endowments. They have so much support from alumni and, even from, the government funding these institutions as well. So I just wanted to say that as an example of this does not have to be the way it is. And you may find a university that does give you what you need, that will pay you your relocation, that will give you, the flexibility that you need so that you don't have such a shitty commute. Okay.
Yes.
So as far as, should you take this pay cut? I totally agree with what Tiffany said when it comes to your mental health. I mean, what could you do with that much more time?
Yeah.
And excuse me, yeah, what could you do with that much more time, that much more energy? And I bet you could put that time and energy into crafting the rest of your career,
Mm-hmm.
publishing research that could raise your profile in your field. I don't know what kind of, what you exactly teach or what your area of focus is, but you could do research, write a book,
Mm-hmm.
speak, be out there in your space, get noticed by another university, that could recruit you. And yeah, I think that you need to make the right choice for yourself. And I, and
Yeah.
I, I like that there's the potential for them to lose a great talent like you, and maybe that will help them see, oh, maybe we shouldn't treat people like shit.
Yes.
And I also wouldn't be totally surprised if you decide to resign and take
Yeah.
this other job, you go to them and they're like, oh, wait. What do you need to stay? Cause we don't want
Mm-hmm.
to lose you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, think of it that way. I mean, their weakness, like you're on a school calendar right now. A lot of recruiting,
Mm-hmm.
like for example, Isabel, the Vandy Moneymaker, she's doing all these interviews throughout the school year, and they're for positions that start in the fall. And like Tiffany said before, as a manager, you lose someone now. So you're going to already have missed out on all the great candidates because they already have their positions locked in for the fall. So they're going to be putting themselves at a disadvantage, not having someone lined up for the fall to teach whatever you're teaching. So, make them wait. Let them know in the summertime. Like, hey, well, I'm going to quit because you guys are not accommodating me. And like, show them what happens if you don't show up and like show your employees that they're valued and that you understand that it sucks to have a 5-hour commute.
Yes.
Round trip. That is insane. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, hopefully, Crystal and Kathy, that this episode of BAQA was so helpful. If you have questions, friend, that need answers, we might not have all the answers, but certainly we're two smart, adorable, beautiful brown girls that do our best. And you can go to brownambitionpodcast.com and click like contact us or slide into our DMs, Brown Ambition Podcast on IG, and we will accommodate you. Entrepreneurship, business, career, money, and life questions. Until next week.
Okay, until next week, BA fam. We will see you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Bye.
Bye.